Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you. We are in solving equations with fractions, day 2. We're going to see two different types of questions. One of them, super easy, exactly like day 1. The other one, maybe a little bit harder, but still pretty easy. Okay? If you remember yesterday, we talked about, like, we had ninjas coming down to fight the aliens. I don't know. I was going crazy. Okay? For question number 1, absolutely nothing new, no new strategies, okay? Do you see that we have denominators, which just means bottoms? We've got 5 and 5, okay? That means at our party now, instead of just having one alien attack, we got 2 people being attacked by aliens, but the good news is, doesn't really make a difference, okay? We still just bring down the ninjas times 5, times 5, times 5, times 5. All right, we bring them down. They're here to save the day. Just like yesterday, we got duels to the death. All right. And when they duel here, we got a 5 versus a 5. The first person, ninja versus alien, dead. Right? Tragic. Remember from yesterday, one of the biggest mistakes we saw was that this 2 was forgotten. So don't forget about this 2 here. That's going to need to stick around. This next 5 is going to survive. This next 5 is going to survive. But we're going to have one more battle. This guy all the way on the end here. 5s are going to go fight to the death. And all the fractions, at this point, all the fractions are gone. Okay? Literally from the first 30 seconds of the question, we're already handled the fractions. Okay? We need to do a little bit of multiplying, but that should be it. So, from this first term, what should we have left? 2x. From the second term, what should we have? Negative 45. In the middle, always an equal sign. 5 times 7? 35. And what's our fourth term going to be? Minus 3x. And at this point, the fractions are handled. The fractions are done. And if you just think about it like this question right here, easy, 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 okay? The only thing that might be a little funky is that the numbers are just kind of big because remember, we just multiplied every single number times 5. So we just got bigger for sure. That's why the numbers seem a little bit bigger than normal. All right, how are we going to solve this? 3 steps, move, divide. What are we moving first? If it was up to me, I'm moving the 3x first. I like to get one pile of x's first. Could you move the 45 first? Sure. No. You could. I like to move my x's first. I got 5x minus 45 equals 35. Now, because to me, when I have one x, this just looks so comfortable. This just looks so natural. When I have 2 x's, it's a little ugly. So I'm going to do a little plus 45 on both sides. You will get the same answer. I mean, as long as you follow rules, you add things fairly to both sides, you're going to get the same answer. You know, don't forget anything. 5x equals 35 plus 45? 80. 80. Finish every question with divide. Divide by 5. What's the final answer going to be for number 1? X equals 16. 16. Muy fácil. Okay, so what we just figured out at the top here, it says, how do you eliminate the fraction if there is more than one fraction with the same denominator? What does denominator mean? Bottom. The bottom. Nice job. So, if we've got multiple fractions, 5 and 5, and they're the same number, 5 and 5, what do we multiply by? Yeah, right? So, easy. Multiply by bottom. No stress. Little bit less chat in the back. We're going to be flying through this. We're almost done. Okay, I know there's 3 questions left. These are going to go fast. So for number 2, I'm going to give you a little bit of a head start. Can you figure out what the denominators are? Can you figure out what we need to multiply by? Can we write those 7s down? Can we cross them out? Let's face forward. Focus on our notes. I'll give you another 15 seconds. Think about it. Ooh, that's going to be on YouTube. That's going right to the principal.
Yo, chat.
All right. For number 2, what number is it that we need to multiply by?
7.
7. Here comes the ninjas. 7, 7, 7, 7. Sweet. We're going to have some battles. We're going to have some ninjas versus aliens showdown. The first 7. Is that a battle? See ya. The 7s are gone. The second 7. Is that a battle? No, he's chilling. What about the third 7? Cross them out. What about the fourth 7? Okay, so now we just got to collect everything we need. This is the step. If you can get this step right, like, you're a master at fractions already. So, if we're on this step, does anybody have all 4 pieces here? What do you got?
I got 3x plus 28.
3x plus 28 equals. What else you got? 1x minus 42. Any issues there? Anybody got problems? We good? Okay, now let's do a little move, divide. Again, we're chilling. Minus 1x. Shh, don't talk over me, please. 3 minus 1, 2x. We moved our x's. Now let's move our numbers back and forth. Let's do a little minus 28. Anybody know what?
70, negative 70.
Nice job. 2x equals negative 70. How do you finish every question?
Divide.
Finish with divide.
It's 35. It's a all right, negative 35.
Okay. So let's let's see what we got. We got a seat right here. That's the one we got. The one up front. Welcome. All right, here you go. You can have this piece of paper. You can have this pencil. Okay, we're still doing the notes. We've been a little chatty. Still recording the video.
X equals negative 35.
You're right. We did it. We've got x equals negative 35. I gave my paper out. What do you need to see? You want to see the whole thing?
Yeah.
Times 7, times 7, times 7, times 7. The 7's cross out, the 7's cross out. 3x plus 28 equals 1x minus 42. Then you do a little minus 1x. 2x plus 28 equals negative 42. Then you do a little minus 28. 2x equals negative 70. A little divide by 2. All right. I'm writing too fast. We're moving on. Here's where it gets tougher, okay? If you are thinking to yourself, Mr. Kari, this is easy. Mr. Kari, you're on board. Here it is, okay? This is the most important thing probably all week, because what we're learning tomorrow, it's not really all that hard. This is it, okay? Do you see in the denominator that we have 2's and 4's? All right. So we have a little bit of a problem. If I decide to multiply by 2, right? Let's see this. Times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2. This 2 can battle against this 2. But if you look at this matchup here, okay? This ninja does not fight this alien. The 2 and the 4, they don't work, okay? So that's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to multiply everything by 2. It's just not going to work. If I try multiplying everything by 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. We have the same problem. The 4 works. The 2 doesn't really work. So here's what we need to do. In order to solve this question, we got an easy fix. Okay? Different denominators. I'm going to write that because that's what we got. Different denominators. Different denominators. I might have wrote it a little too close to my numbers here. If you have different denominators, okay? Simple, you're going to multiply them together. Okay? So, looking in the bottom, you've got a 2 and a 4. 2 and 4. And what are we going to do with the 2 and the 4? Multiply them together. What's 2 times 4? 8. So 8 is the number that we want. 8 is like the super soldier. Okay? And here's where the important moment is. Okay? 8, which is our super soldier, which is, you know, the mega powerful. The 8 never dies. Alright? The 8 is a super soldier. The 8 versus a 2, the 8 wins every time. The 8 versus the 4, the 8 wins every time. So it's a little bit different. Instead of having 7 versus 7 even matchup, they both die. When we have this super soldier here, our super soldier will never die. What's going to happen is these are going to be big Desmos questions. Alright? These require Desmos. You have to use Desmos. Looking at Desmos, click, click, Desmos. We're going to have to do 8 times 8. My first term is going to be 64. And here's the big moment. Here's the moment that there's going to be people who are ignoring me, chatting, listening to music. I'm not sure what it is, and they're going to fall behind right here. Okay? When we're working on the second term, 8 times 8, we did that. Now we have this guy. We have this second term. We need to do 8 times -1/2. They do not cross out. We need to go to Desmos and type it in. 8 times divide. And if you set it up like that, that's going to give you 8 times a fraction. When we type that in, -1 on top of 2, it tells us -4. And so -4 needs to be this term. So now, when we get to the third term, nothing is going to cross out. We have a super soldier. The super soldier does not die. We got to go to Desmos. We got to type 8 times divide. And then get our fraction in there. What should be on the top of this fraction? What should be on the bottom of this fraction? And so what is our third term? 2. 2x. Again, the super soldiers, you gotta type it in Desmos. Did you type in? Did you listen to what I'm saying? 8 times 1, 4. This right here. Okay. Here's what's going on. Do you understand where the 8 came from? Do you understand where the 8 came from? Okay. Look at the bottom. We have a 2 in the bottom. We have a 4 in the bottom. And it's 2 and 4 multiplied together to make 8. Okay? That's why we have 8s. Once you have 8s, type it in Desmos. Type it in Desmos. Type it in Desmos. Type it in Desmos. It's just literally straight into Desmos. Okay? I appreciate you asking the questions when you were feeling stumped. I appreciate that. Now, the last one is 8 times -7, which is -56. And so we have -56. From here, the fractions are gone. We don't have to worry about any fractions. We don't have to worry about any, really we should just be able to solve it from here. Move, divide. Minus 2x, minus 2x. 64 minus 6x equals negative 56. We're going to need to do minus 64 minus 64. Negative 6x equals negative 120. And we're going to finish by dividing, like always. X equals 20. Okay, just like yesterday, we have fractions, but the fractions go away in the very first step. It is a little bit harder today because you can't just cross stuff out. You have to actually do some Desmos. Looking at number 4, I'll give you a little bit of a head start. Don't shout it out. Think about what number do you need to multiply by. Once you have that number, write it on top. And once you have that number, use Desmos to figure it out. If you can get this far, then you know what's up. Then you learned it today, and you've got it. Okay? I'll give you another 30 seconds. Question is set up a little interesting, but you can handle it.
So, Andy, don't you multiply by 4? No, 3. 12.
Yeah, 12. 3 times 4. 3.
Wait, I'm choosing.
Yeah. All right, that was 30 seconds. Here's what's going on. We've got a 3 and a 4. We have different denominators. Can we handle this with simple, nice and easy ninjas, or do we need to bring in the super soldiers? We got 3s and 4s. We're going to need 3 times 4 equals 12. So we need 12s. So on top of all 3 terms, I'm putting times 12 times 12 times 12. And here's where people made mistakes during the classwork in first period today. They had 12 and 3, and they crossed off a 12, and they crossed off a 3. That's not right, okay? A 12 is not the same thing as a 3. The 12 is a super mega soldier. Nobody's crossing him off, right? He's been around the block. Or maybe it's a girl. So, here's what we got. 12 times 2/3, use Desmos. Type 12 times divide, and then put your number in there. 2/3. 2/3 of 12 is 8. 8x. Did anybody figure out what 12 times negative 1/4 is? Negative 3x equals 60. This question is set up a little weird. Normally we have some x's on both sides. We have some numbers on both sides. But for this question, the left has both x's, and the right has only numbers. So we're already sorted out. We got all the letters on the left. We got all the numbers on the right. We need to do a little bit of combining here. What's 8x's minus 3x's? Just going to be an easy 5x's. 8 minus 3 is 5. And how do we finish every question? Divide by 5. Divide by 5. And we have x equals 12. So, filling in the top of our paper, then we're going to be done. We're going to move on. I'll show you the end of the paper in just a second. When we have the same denominator, we just really easy, just like yesterday, multiply by the bottom. But here's the new stuff. Here's the stuff that we really want to learn, okay? This is it right here. How do you eliminate the fraction if there is more than one fraction with different denominators? If we got different denominators, what are we going to do? We're going to do multiply the bottoms together. Okay? Let me see here. Multiply. I'm not sure how you can see that red on top of orange. That's a little tough. Here we go. Let's switch it up. Multiply the bottoms together. Okay? I mean, that's really all we learned today. If you got different bottoms, multiply them together. Okay? Use Desmos to type this stuff in. When you use Desmos, type it in, times, divide, and you got it. All right?